Hello everybody, welcome back to Angular Tutorials. This is Atul from IT Codes. Today we are going to learn about Angular directives. The basics of directives, structure directives, ngIf and ngFor, and attribute directives, ngStyle and ngClass. So for that, we will be creating our own component, a different component for learning the entire directives. So I create a new component. Ng generate C. The component is created. Now we go into the TS file, and first of all we declare two properties or variables. Student ID, I give it a fixed value as 40. Exam status, I give a fixed value as failed, and one variable status, I give it a value as boolean true. So there are two string variables and one boolean variable. To print the value of this two variables, we will go in the component HTML file. In HTML file, we declare it inside p tag, and to view this component, we go in the app component. I'll close all the previous components calling, and I will call just the last component we created. App directive component. I run the application, and you see the direct fixed text which is written as student has passed the exam. Now we look into how to work with that ngIf directive. So in the component, inside the p tag attribute, I specify as star, that is asterisk, ngIf, and we check the boolean variable over here. So now this will print depending on the condition ng status equals to true or false. So over here we are given the value as true first. So you can see it is printed that student has passed the examination. Now we change the value to false. So when the status equals to false, this won't go inside and print this. So you can see the component goes blank. So this is basic uses of the structure directive ngIf. So if the condition is satisfied, then the task will be done, else it won't be. Now enhancing this and adding the else condition over here. So for that we give a termination over here and say else I give a name is failed. Now it is giving me an error over here because we haven't defined anything known as failed over here. So failed, we are going to declare a template over here, ng template, and that template I give it a name as hash failed. Now the error goes. So what will happen is, if that is status is true, it will go inside this and print student has passed. If the status is false, then it will go in else condition. But for else condition, I defined a ng template, so it will read the name of the template and print with whatever is done in this ng template. So I write a text over here as I write it as student has failed the examination. Now the value inside your component is right now false, so it should go inside this template, and you can see it has print that student has failed. So this is basic usage of your ng if directive, that is if condition is satisfied it goes inside the if section, if it is not satisfied it will go inside else, and it will print whatever is done in the template over here. So this is basic usage of if else, that is ng if and else. Now remember, for writing you have to first start with asterisk symbol and say ng if. You cannot type it this way, it won't work. So it will be written in this way, star ng if. So this is your if condition. Now we go on to another directive usage. I define another p over here and I give a text as student id, and we want to print the id which is specified over here. So for that we will be using interpolation. Student id is, and I print the second variable, that is exam status, in examination. Now first it is printing the original value which has been set in the component, that is student id 40 is fail in examination. So this is the fixed value which has been given over here. So making it dynamic, we declare a constructor inside your component. So for defining a constructor in Angular, you just have to define as constructor. The function name should be constructor, and in this I change the value of exam status conditionally. So to perform this, we do is this dot exam status, we give a random condition, that is I am using the math function math dot random. It will generate a random number always, is greater than 0.5. We use a ternary operator. So if the condition is satisfied, then the person is pass, else the person is fail. So this will dynamically change on every refresh. It will be random. So randomly, if it is greater than 0.5, then it will set the value to pass, If it is not, it will set the value to fail. So now we try and refresh the thing. First it is fail. So it is entirely random, so it might change, might not change. Okay. Now for implementing this thing, we have to give a condition over here to check that whether it has changed or not. So what we do is, we define one more directive, that is ng style. Okay, the directive name is ng style, but to achieve the condition we will be using property binding. Remember, the directive is ng style, but we are explicitly using the property binding over here, and in that property binding I will just specify a style over here. So I just say background color equals to get color. Okay, it's giving you an error because we haven't defined any method named as get color. So first we go in the component and we define a method as get color, and we just return this dot exam status. Equals to, we check whether the exam status equals to pass. If the exam status equals to pass, then the color should be green or the color should be red. So the background color will be green if the status is pass, and the background will be red if the status is fail. So it will be entirely depending on this random string which will be generated. So the random number will be generated, and if it is greater than 0.5, then it will be working this way. So now the error goes from here. So this will be done conditioning, that is ng style will be changed on condition given inside. Okay, it says failed in exam, it says pass in exam, but the color is not changing. Let me just check, it will be some mistake. Okay, the spelling with background color. So now you can see, if it is fail, it is giving me red color in the background, and we try to refresh it. Okay, now it changes to green, and the condition it says is the status is changed to pass. So this is implementation of your ng style depending on a particular condition. So we change the style of the p tag inside your HTML depending on the condition. Next is ng class. Now class will just change or add a class to that particular text or a particular HTML element. So we define the directive as ng class. We now change the text color. because the background is already being changed by ng style attribute. So we can just change the attribute over here and give the text color. So we wanted to change the color when the exam status will be false. Sorry, the exam status will be pass. So that is text color will change if the exam status variable goes to pass, or else it will remain black. So for implementing this text color property, that is attribute, style attribute, we have to define it inside your app component file. That is, we go inside the component ts file, and over here we off this thing, that is the styles url, and we give a simple array over here, a styles array. So I just say styles square bracket, and we define the style as dot text color, which is specified over here. So we give it in single quote dot text color, and the text color we give it to white, as the background is green, so it will be visible. So I give the color property as white. So we have specified the color property as white. So now this text color white will be implemented over here in ng class. Now ng class also we have to give it as property binding. We bind the property as class property, that is ng class property, with the text color depending on the value of the exam status. If the exam status is pass, then the color should be white, or else it will be black. So right now it is red and black. When the status changes, it should go to white. Okay, there is some mistake again. I just say ng status, we check it, text color, exam status, and if it is pass, then it should implement over here, and inside we have given as text color as white. The implementation seems to be right. Just let's check what's happening. Okay, now as the status changes to pass, the background goes to green by the ng style directive, and the text goes to white by the ng class directive. So this is implementing your ng class and ng style directives. There is one more directive, that is structure directive. That structure directive is ng for, that is a for loop to print some values. So for that, we define a class over here first. We define it as employee, and we give two values, employee name string and employee salary. We give it a value as 10,000 right now, supposedly. So we are giving string over here. Okay, it is giving you something as it has no initiator. Okay, fine. So for initializing, we'll just give the attribute as undefined. So right now this value has not been initialized, so it was giving you an error. Now we want to fill the values in this particular variables. So we create an object of this particular class which has been created. So for that we define an object as employees, and we define the type as the class we have defined, that is employee, and we define an array. So to give the values to an array, I have to give two values, that is employee name and employee salary. Employee name equals to, give it as Amit, and employee salary, we define it as 6,000. Define second value. Okay, let's take it should be colon. Employee name is Raj, and employee salary, we define it as 8,000. So there are two array values for the class we have defined. So we have assigned two variables by an object, creating the employees object. Now to access these values inside your component HTML, we do it in UL tag. So we define the UL tag, and each and every row, we can consider this as a row. So this array multi-dimensional. So we can get this row inside your li element. So for that, we run the for directive over here. So again the same logic and same syntax, star ng for. It is same as for each. In for each, we had syntax as for a specific values, that is we are having a fixed array. When we run for each, the for each syntax used to work in that way, that for each single value from multiple value, that is something like this: for each e in employees. So what happened is, employee is a fixed array, a fixed size array which are having, and if we are having 10 employees, then each and every employee will travel in e. So the syntax of ng for is similar to that for each thing. So we define as let a variable emp of the array object, the object name was employees. So this will run whatever number of employees are given over here. So for now it will run for 2 times, and inside it we print the value of the array using the interpolation thing. I give interpolation and I say emp dot emp name, that is employee name, okay, it is compiled. Now you can see the values are printed over here. So the loop is running using the ng for directive. So these are the basic directives of Angular. Structural directives ng if and ng for, and the other directives are attribute directives, that is ng style and ng class. So this is how we implement the directives inside your Angular applications. So in next tutorials we will be learning more about forms, that is how we will be working with forms on Angular, that is reactive forms as well as the template driven forms. So till then you can practice this basic tutorials which are been done till now. Any questions or anything, you can always comment in the comment section. Thank you for watching.